Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So, the Kingdom of Equitaine rides again in this game versus some Saurian Ancients. This game actually took place a couple weeks ago. This is the same list I used in my last battle report. It is in the description. It's really just kind of a modification from my last tournament list. So it's built around the idea of going for a mostly all-knight army. So my tournament I went with 4 blocks of Knights of the Realm and then one unit of Grail Knights. And on this one, I reduced the Knights of the Realm down to 2 units and then added in a big and a small unit of Knights Aspirant and added in a unit of Questing Knights just to see how they play. My opponent, I play from time to time. You've probably seen these models before. He's running a Saurian Ancient list that's really taking advantage of their characters. I tend to agree with him that I think Saurian Ancients characters are really good, especially just they have some inbuilt advantages. Like super high toughness, fantastic leadership with a cold-blooded rule, and just killy and hard to kill for the warrior ones, and just have a lot of benefits. So anyway, starting on the far right, let's go back one. Yeah, so on the far right, looks like he has a unit of swarms just outside this picture. Unit of 2 weapons beasts on the hill. There's a unit of 1 weapons beasts and then another snake swarm. Here at the forefront of the picture is one of his 2 Skink captains on an Alpha Pterodon. This is the guy, he has a serpent bow, which is kind of similar to the impaler that the Beast Herds army has. There in the back, he's got a Warlord on a Carnosaur. I fear that thing greatly. Matter of fact, I love that he's hiding behind the hill. He's doing that because he knows I'm going to go first, and I think he had the choice and wanted me to go first, and he's really just hiding from my trebuchets for a turn. But what it does is it allows me to do a lot of things turn 1 without worrying about a counter charge from him. So he's got some warriors with spears surrounding a skink on a palanquin. Then he's got a unit of raptors with 2 cowboys. So 2 veterans on raptors. Those guys are so good. I think the real value in that is the option to take those characters out of the unit. So you start them in there, and if you can get that whole unit charged into something, they're going to wreck face. But you can charge either of those guys into a knight bus, and I think you're okay. I think you can hold them up all game. So I haven't looked at the math on that, but that's my feeling. Next to them, he's got a Stygosaur, and then he's got up in front another unit of snake swarms and a second captain on the Alpha Pterodon. So have my quests in the far right. The small unit is 5 Knights Aspirant. I'm using those models. They're my opponent's, another player's models because I just left a lot of mine at home. My concern here was that his Skink captains on Pterodon can vanguard and then march. And one thing we didn't do, and I didn't realize at this game, is that when he was done deploying, he has to tell me whether he's going to roll for first or second. And I'm not sure it would have mattered or not. But the reason I have this unit way far back is I didn't want that guy flying and getting behind my arc of sight and being able to do whatever he wants to do. Anyway, obviously there's a Treb, there's a unit of Knights of the Realm, some fast cav in front, my Grail Knights with my General. Next to that is my Battle Standard Bearers unit, or Battle Standard Bearer. He's with a unit of Knights of the Realm. Trebuchet, 12 Knights Aspirant in a 5x2 formation, and that's it. So then, yeah, he gives me turn 1. So in big news, yeah, the big thing is I went ahead and charged 1 unit into his Skink on a Pterodon because I just didn't see a disadvantage to doing it. He's got a lot of chaff up there, so I think I'm going to kill this guy and I'm going to reform, and he can come up and chaff me up and get his Warlord on a Carnosaur to countercharge after that. I don't know. I thought it was worth it. I didn't want that guy. Again, he can fly so far, get out of my line of sight. And he's got this mobile bolt thrower. I don't need him getting behind me and then just bolt throwing my guys all game long. I am worried about getting charged by his raptors, so my left flank holds back quite a bit. So there's the charge. Land a rock squarely on their heads, and I kill, I don't know, 4 or 5 probably. And after combat, yeah, easily kill that dude and reform. And by the way, during the magic phase, I moved my fast cav over like that. it wasn't a big reason for it. I wasn't worried about getting charged by that guy on the left. So we go to Saurian Ancients turn 1. So yeah, he has lots of chaff on the board. So if you look at the far right, he moves some swarms up to chaff up my my Knights of the Quest. He moves a single unit of Weapon Beast up to block my unit of Knights and everything else you can see. Yeah, he tried charging his Raptors into this unit. I don't know what he needed. He needed a long roll. Obviously, he's pretty far away, but it scared me because had he hit, he would have wrecked those guys. Thankfully, he didn't roll as good as he would have needed to. Then in shooting phase, he kills one Knight of the Quest, and then the single Weapons Beast kills 3 of these guys. Thought that was somewhat unfortunate. We go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 2. So now in good Equitaine fashion, we are clearing chaff by charging it. So at the far right, the Questing Knights charge the Snake Swarms. Right next to them, unit of 5 Knights Aspirant charge the Weapons Beast. This was a lot of times in these just kind of friendly mess around games. I'm willing to try something just by charging and say, hey, let's see how this works. Those Weapons Beast guys are good in combat. In hindsight, I don't think a small unit of Knights handles them, especially, of course, being behind a fence. Otherwise, you can see my guys are just clearing chaff where they can. The Grail Knights hitting Snake Swarms, expecting to kill them, hoping to roll high enough that I can charge the unit of Saurus Warriors. Now, they have spears, but I'm not that worried about it. I mean, how many 6s can he roll to wound, and what's my alternative? I mean, I guess I could always back up and try to get a combo charge on him. But anyway, did that. So then I charge my fast cav into the flank of Snake Swarms, and I do that knowing that I'm not going to kill him this round. A big mistake I made was that where I parked my BSB's unit so close to those guys, because if he charges my fast cav with his Knight unit, if my fast calves succeed in killing all those Snake Swarms between this combat and next, then I'm in trouble. So I didn't think they would because my guys suck, but you never know what could happen. I don't know if it takes 1 rock or 2, but we greatly diminished this unit, which I don't think really affects my opponent because I think the value is mainly in those 2 characters. And after combat, between wounds in combat and combat res, I do way too well in this combat. Like, I did not want to do this well. There's only, I think, 1 wound remaining on those Snake Swarms. I'm not usually rooting against myself. Oh, there's 2 wounds left on him. I'm not usually rooting against myself in combat, but I'm like, no, stop it. Yeah, so he charges in with the Knights. I can have 1 guy go against the Knights, but 3 guys are going to have to go against the Snake Swarms. That's 6 attacks. I really, really, really need not to do 2 wounds, and I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm just thinking there was no reason to pull my BSB's unit up that close so that it's even a problem. There's no reason for it. Dumb, sloppy. Over here, yeah, the Knights of the Quest make short work of the Snake Swarms. The problem is the Knights Aspirant do nothing against those Weapon Beasts. And yeah, I mean, if he beats that unit and overruns into my Knights of the Quest, I could care less about it. But as it is now, well, I just didn't clear out that chaff. All right, so we go to Saurian Ancients turn 2. So the Grail Knights beat their unit and overran into the Saurus Warriors. His alpha, or his Warlord on a Carnosaur, charges the flank of the 1 unit I had. I was sorely tempted to flee, but I just looked at the angle and what else he had that could still charge and decided it wasn't worth it. Plus, if I fled, he could have countercharged to the Knights of the Grail, and I didn't want that. So I'm just hoping that unit can be steadfast, just hold on for as long as possible. Here he made a huge mistake, and he realized it later. When he charged the Stygiasaur in, he totally saved me from my own mistake, because now I can allocate all my attacks back at the Stygiasaur, and then that Snake Swarm is going to live, and that Snake Swarm is blocking his Raptor unit, and there's no way he can form up so that it doesn't block that unit. So he's going to kill all my fast calves, so then he can overrun with 2 of his units. But his Stygiasaur is facing towards my Grail Knight unit, and he's going to hit those Snake Swarms, so he can't do any harm. And the Raptor unit can't overrun past the Stegosaur or those snake swarms. So, matter of fact, in hindsight, I should have gone ahead and tried to kill the snake swarms now because the Stegosaur was blocking them. Or maybe I did, I just don't remember. So, yeah, huge mistake there. This is not a huge mistake on my opponent's part. And after combat, yeah, so it was predictable that my fast cav died, but his positioning is just awful. I mean, now I can countercharge the Stegosaur and overrun into his knights, and he knows that. He's trying to reform so it's otherwise, and he just can't do it. His general killed my knight unit down to one guy. I was hoping he would kill them all. Either leave me 3 to be steadfast or kill them all. And there's one guy left, and so he fled at a weird angle, and it should have brought his lord into my Grail Knights, and he rolled like really, really low and didn't get into combat. My Knights of the Grail killed a bunch of Source Warriors, but the problem is he doesn't have that many attacks. He's got this big Palanquin there, so it looks like a big unit, but it's not that many attacks. He is rolling 6s like you wouldn't believe. And just, I mean, I guess he only killed 3 models, but still, he killed 3 Grail Knights so far. Not happy with that. And over here, his weapons beasts kill my small units of Knights Errant, break them, and my Knights of the Quest fail their panic test and run away. Darn it. I would have liked to have charged them into his general. I still think his general wins that. He's just too nasty. But I'm thinking at the time that if my Grail Knights cannot get countercharged by that Warlord, they have a chance of winning the grind against that Source Warrior unit. But if they get countercharged, they're just toast. But it's a moot point because we failed a rig test. All right, so we go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 3. The Questing Knights rally. The Knights Aspirant at the bottom. I don't know why they're hanging out there, to be honest. I mean, there's a reason. I just don't know the reason. I don't know if they failed to charge or what. Yeah, so BSB's unit charges that. With the BSB, I'm pretty confident we're going to kill that thing. We go to the shooting phase, and my Trebuchet drops a rock on this guy's head. So in my last game, my Trebuchet throwing killed the Chaos Lord. This game, I killed the Warlord on the Carnosaur. That was very, very much needed. Very, very helpful. I've got the blessing, the ward save increased on the Grail Knights. I'm hopeful they can hopefully survive. And they don't. I lose another 3. And at this point, I'm like, they shouldn't have lost 3 on that one. I don't know what the math is. I'm looking at the tax he has. Whatever. Yeah, we couldn't kill the Stegosaur, but we beat it. It breaks, and we overrun into the Raptor unit. And we go to Saurian Ancients turn 3. When my Knights Aspirant failed their charge to the the Skink captain, he repays the favor. Excuse me. He repays the favor by countercharging my Knights. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot going on. Everything's kind of locked in combat. There's that. I'm not too worried about this guy. I've got the problem is if he wins and I'm steadfast, I'm still only steadfast on like a 7, and that's what concerns me. Meanwhile, over here, yeah, just these guys are just rocking my Grail Knights world. Maybe I need to rethink the Grail Knights in this situation. So that's not looking good. And over here, yeah, he sacrifices a champion to my BSB. My BSB is most effective on the charge. So next phase, we'll get in a challenge between one of his characters and my BSB, and I think he wins that one. Otherwise, we do a lot of harm to the unit, but I really needed to break him this turn. But cold-blooded rerollable, I don't care how much you win by. It's just, yeah, it's so good. So they stick. And just with his 2 characters, I think the best I can hope for is just to stick around the rest of the game. He charges in. He can't get past my my armor and ward, and I can't get past his. I think he has a 2-up armor or something. So he has a charge. I have a rank and a banner. I win. He's only leadership 6, but it's cold-blooded, and he sticks. We go to Kingdom turn 4. Man, it feels like it should be a whole game already, and we're only halfway through it. So we're still locked in combat. My Knights of the Quest are trying to come around the table to get in a position to support somebody. Stegosaur had not rallied, by the way. You see where it is. So I throw a rock at it and promptly hit it and kill it. These trebuchets are my rock stars. No pun intended. After combat, yeah, he can't get past my armor. I can't get past his armor. And I win by a rank and a banner. And he's roll. I'm winning by 1 or 2. He needs a 4 or a 5. And it doesn't matter. Well, he needs a 4. 4 with cold-blooded sticks. Meanwhile, over here, we've now killed the whole unit. He's just got his 2 characters. But if you see all my knights that are missing, that's because his other character is just laying waste to that unit. His BSB kills my BSB, which is not good, of course. And over here, amazingly, now we're getting past. We're not taking harm. So I think I used a wound counter from the lore attribute to save a wound on my spellcaster, and then she takes a wound, and overall we're like that. All right, we go to Saurian Ancients turn 4. A weapons team charges one of my trebuchets. Too little, too late. My trebuchets have done their work. They've been awesome. Everything else is pretty much tied up in combat, but he does come up and redirect my Knights of the Quest. And now, in hindsight, again, where I'm thinking, if it's true that with it doesn't matter. I still think I made a mistake. I should have killed those guys when I had the chance. Once my opponent made his mistake with the Stegosaur. Anyway, there's that. After combat, yeah, he kills my last Grail Knight. My prophetess only takes a wound. If you remember what it looked like, there wasn't a whole lot of guys touching her because that Palanquin was taking up the whole second rank. But anyway, she broke. I'm confident I will rally next time. But yeah. And down here, this time he decides to do a couple wounds. I have a banner and a rank. I win by musician. He needs a 5. And he sticks every time. He needs a 4 or 5 every time he sticks. Kingdom of Equitaine turn 5. Crested Knights charge the swarms just to get him out of the way. I don't know if my opponent... I think my opponent could have done a better job of positioning them because as it is, I can kill those guys and overrun straight ahead and get a free charge. Yeah. And we do that. Meanwhile, look at the left. There's 1 knight left in that unit. Man, his 2 characters, they just ate them up. Just ate them up. And in this list, I don't know off the top of my head. I know in my tournament list I didn't have champions in my Knight of the Realms unit, and I don't know if I put it in this list. But from now on, you have to have a champion so your BSB isn't wasted. Had I had a champion, and if my opponent had issued a challenge with a champion, I still could have attacked his BSB with my BSB when I was charging, and whatever. Overall, it looks like that. His weapons beasts turned around and they marched up and shot at her, or moved up and killed her. Wasn't too hard to do. We go to combat over here. He does a wound. I have a banner and a rank. I win by 1. He needs a 5, and he, of course, sticks. I think there might be a spell up helping with his leadership, though. And after combat, yeah, we win and break that unit. He gets away. He should be facing the other direction. He's 2 inches away from me. If you look on the left, my knight unit finally died. We had done that one first, and he reformed his guys. I think he needed to have reformed them differently because my turn's next, and I'm not going to be where I am there. So, King of Equitaine, my Questing Knights charge his fleeing unit. They have to flee. I catch him and get out of line of sight of his character unit, which is nice. At the bottom, I don't know. He's killed... I think he kills another guy. I have a banner and a rank. I win by 1. He sticks. And then we go to the last turn of the game. His weapons beast can pick on the last trebuchet. Otherwise, there's really not a whole lot to do. So he gets that. We finally... he finally break this guy from combat. Darn it. Finally, and we run him down. So at the end of the game, it looks like that. I've got Knights of the Quest and Knights Aspirant left. I think at the bottom my trebuchet's dead, and he's got a unit of weapons beasts and 2 characters left. So I think we win the game. It doesn't matter. It was close enough. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed these last 2 games. Just getting models on the table and letting it be bloody. And I think there's a lot of fun in that. I think, again, I'm going to post a video pretty soon about the types of games I play and my approaches to them and what I'm trying to do in them. But this is definitely one of those games where, I don't want to make dumb mistakes, but at the same time, I don't care about optimum matchups. I just want to play around with stuff. I want to play a game without pressure and play around with how matchups work, even if they're not optimal, and then mostly just let it be bloody. And this one did that. It was a lot of fun. Here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.